Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Muscatine Today Show. I'm so glad that you're joining us today. We have a great show in store for you, lots of good information, and I'm happy that you're joining with us. I want to start off by saying thank you so much to all of our sponsors. Without them, we wouldn't have this amazing platform for local nonprofits and folks having events in Muscatine to come on and chat with you guys about all of those great things. So thanks so much to our sponsors. Those include Muscatine Power and Water, Rivo Plumbing and Heating, Impact Life Blood Center, Toyota of Muscatine, of course, our friends over at Becky Insurance. We love having them as a sponsor as well. Our friends at Suntan City Muscatine, Unity Point Health Trinity Muscatine, and then of course Hy-Vee. We are so glad that you guys are tuning in. Today, I actually have some friends from Unity Point, but Unity Point at Home, hospice care. I loved when, well, I guess I should introduce you guys first, right? I was just gonna dig right in. But so Carrie and Sherri, it's fun to say that.
Yes.
Do you guys have fun doing that? Like, oh, I'm Carrie, I'm Sherri.
Yes.
Like,
makes it easy for
was it
people to
planned?
remember.
Like that's why you guys got hired, right?
Yeah, we're a duo.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. First of all, tell us your position at Unity Point Health at Home, and then we'll kind of dig into some of the nitty gritty. I was just going to get right started. But,
Sure.
but
I'm
we
a
should introduce
social
you.
worker with Unity Point Hospice.
Okay.
I am one of the nurses. I am a patient care coordinator. I used to be one of the case managers here in the Muscatine area. So.
Awesome. So, like I said, let's just kind of dig right in. There's so many services. When you sent me over kind of some of the information at the beginning, I was like, wow, I've been through, like losing parents and some of those situations where, hospice was something that was talked about. And it's always such a scary thing. Like when we were talking just before the show, like everybody's like, oh my gosh, they called hospice in, like that means, it's going to be within hours or, a day and so I'm glad that you're on to kind of cut through some of that, because you guys have so much more to offer to families and loved ones, and of course to the patient themselves throughout that process. And so I really want to talk about that today. But I think just broadly, let's talk about some of the services that you guys do offer in the community. It's local, I love that. We all are familiar with Unity Point, the system, and, are excited to have that here. And so it's good that we have that affiliation. But so talk to me a little bit about just some of those services that you guys offer, and let's just dig in.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Carrie. I'll let you start.
Okay. So, basically, hospice is an end-of-life care program. So a lot of people think that, hospice can only come in when somebody may only have 24 to 48 hours left. But really, hospice is a comprehensive program that if you get it in place sooner, the better.
Yeah.
Because you can utilize all those services to your advantage.
Yep.
There are qualifications that you have to meet. You technically have to be considered by a physician to potentially have 6 months or less to live. But that's just a guideline. We've had people on services with us for over a year.
Yeah. I love that you said that. Okay, so, no one can say, like, I don't care how amazing of a physician, like, I love you guys, but you can't, no one knows exactly when the time is going to come. And so it's so hard to make that call as a family member.
Yeah.
And it's been like a huge passion of mine since I lost my parents, really, and went through all of the, luckily I'm the baby. I say this with so much love for you guys, but luckily I'm the baby of the family. And so I had older siblings that really took a lot of that load. I was younger and they took a lot of that load, but I saw that load for them. I saw them trying to make the right decisions and, when is the right time to call in? We don't want mom and dad to think that we're giving up or, like all of these things that kind of go through your mind as like, as a child or a loved one. And so I think that I love that you guys came on today to kind of break through some of that, because it's so important to not only have these discussions with your loved ones, write it down for Pete's sake, write down what things you want,
Right.
write it down that,
Absolutely.
if the physician says, you have 6 months or less, please, you guys, if you're not able to still communicate, please call in hospice. I'm not going to think you're giving up on, because it is when you're in that position, you're like, oh my gosh, do they think, what are they thinking? Do they think that I'm giving up on them now? And, like you don't want to have those conversations. So make plans. Yeah. Everyone's going to die at some point. It's life. Like
exactly.
It's real life. Sometimes it comes a lot sooner than we hope. It always comes sooner than we hope, right? Like, but always. Everyone will. And,
I think a lot of times when people get referred to us, they have maybe been going in and out to the hospital a lot.
Yeah.
They may have a terminal illness that is in end stage, and there really isn't anything that you can do to cure it, but to manage the symptoms of it and to keep
make them
people comfortable
comfortable
while they're at home.
Hospice comes on board when you're past that point. Say you're on chemo or something like that, and they're telling you that the chemo's not doing any good.
Yep.
When
it's
you
like,
get
why do that anymore?
Right. When you get to a point where you're no longer there to cure something, that you just want to be comfortable for as long as you have, that's when it's time for hospice.
Yes, absolutely. That's a great way to put it. Having amazing people who know what they're doing, nurses and CNAs and all of that, coming into your home and keeping it comfortable, because no one wants to go back and forth to the doctor every other day because something happened and I don't know, I'm not a physician. Like, oh, mom's blood pressure went down today. Like, I guess I'm going to take her to the doctor. Like just little things that, it scares you, but it might not be a thing that you need to go to the doctor for. And so letting them stay home
That's
and
the
have
nice
someone
thing
come in.
about hospice, because you have a nurse coming into your home. They're doing an assessment on you.
Or we can see people at nursing homes or
and we can
assisted
go to the
livings
nursing homes, as well. So we're going into your environment to do that assessment, and that's the nice thing. We're in contact with your primary care doctor. We have our own medical director. So if there's a need for, say, a change in medication, or you need something stronger, that kind of thing, we've got those resources, and you don't have to go into the doctor's office to get that. So that's nice.
I think that at that point, when you call in hospice and allow the professionals to do what they're there to do, you get to spend the quality time. I think about, not having to make all of those decisions, like, oh, are they comfortable? Like,
Yeah. If there's a change, you can call us 24/7, so that even after hours or on the weekends, you can call us at 2 o'clock in the morning. Gee, there's been a change. What do we do? And then we can send a nurse out to come and check things out.
Yes. So talk to me a little bit, just briefly, about some of the qualifications. Like, I mean, I know you said, if it's kind of like end of life, if it's like, okay, there's nothing really we can do anymore, but let's keep you comfortable. Is that really when you call? Is that when you're like, okay, it's time to call and find out if we qualify?
It should be an ongoing conversation with your primary care doctor. Because they're the ones that are going to send a referral to us, so that we can give you a call to get you on hospice. But yeah, absolutely. If you feel, then that's something you need to bring up with your doctor and say, is it time for hospice yet? Is this, when is a good time to think about that?
Sure. Okay, so we've called in hospice, and you guys come in. What can people expect? Like, I think that's another scary thing. It's like, okay, when we do call, like, what's going to happen? Like, are they just going to, like, bombard our house, and then all of a sudden, like, it's like this hospital room, and, like, nobody knows what to expect until you go through it. And so maybe if we can talk a little bit about what does happen. You guys get the referral for someone. It's time for hospice to come and help out. So what can people expect?
So we send a team of people. Hospice is covered under Medicare Part A. So and also Medicaid or private insurances, most of them cover it as well. So it's a program that usually is 100% covered by your insurance. So there's a team that come in, they do an assessment to make sure that you have a qualifying diagnosis. And usually there's a nurse and like a social worker or a chaplain who come to do that admission process to get you signed in. We have you sign some things and go over a packet. The care team, I think hospice is really a team approach, which is really
Agreed,
huge
yes.
because it takes a village really
Right.
to provide the physical, the spiritual, the emotional support for people that they need throughout the process. The nurse comes and manages the healthcare piece of it. The social worker, that would be me. I can cover and take care of referrals to community agencies, give you information about resources,
Yes.
just to be an emotional support person, discuss, what your plans might be for funeral plans, going over advanced directives like choosing your healthcare power of attorney if that's something that you haven't done yet, or completing a do not resuscitate form just to make sure that you're comfortable.
Yep.
We also have a chaplain, so he does a lot of emotional support, spiritual support, and our home health aide. They can come in and help, get people cleaned up, give them a bed bath, or help them get into the shower, just to help take some of those physical cares, change the sheets on the bed. They can do a little light housekeeping while they're there. So that's kind of like our core team, and we just kind of space out the visits throughout the week to try to help support the caregiver in whatever setting they're at.
Yeah. See, like, those are not things that need to happen in the last day or two.
Right.
Agreed. It's also an education process because, the bath aide can come in and do that bath, but they may not be coming every day. It just depends on what the patient needs. And they can educate the family and show you how to move them around so that they don't hurt as much.
Yes.
And to make it as comfortable as you can for them, and show you techniques on how to roll them around,
Yep.
So
in
much
a
of what we
safe
do is
manner.
teaching.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and there's so many, like you said, there's so many papers and decisions to make, and those decisions are hard decisions, no doubt, but they're decisions that so many people don't think about until the very end.
Right.
And then it's like you've got caring for your loved one. You're trying to think about, okay, what do they want? What do you want? And having those conversations are hard. They're harder when you're in a place like that.
Agreed. Agreed.
They're harder when you're in a place where it might be a reality. And so I encourage everyone to make those decisions soon, sooner rather than later. But it's nice to know that, you can have a team that can come in and say, like, okay,
Absolutely.
these are the things that we need to talk about. Because sometimes it's hard to bring it up.
It's hard to bring
right?
it
And
up.
so you can bring it up.
And the nice thing about it is
do it.
once
You do
you
it.
talk about it and make those choices, then you
Yes.
don't have to talk about it anymore.
Yes.
You know what
You don't
they
have to
want,
think about it
and you
anymore.
don't have to think about it. The choice has been made. So that's
Yep.
always a good way to approach that. So absolutely. We have patients that graduate off of hospice. Part of what the nursing visit does when they're doing their assessment each week is doing that assessment to see where they're at in that process. Some people, when they get that help in there, get better. And that's
That is a
always
great
something to think.
question.
And,
I love that question.
They can always graduate off of hospice. And
Because again, we don't know.
You
It's
never
like-
know.
I mean, I remember when, I hate talking about it, but I remember when they told us that my mom had about 6 months. And we were all there, and we were talking about hospice, and I quit my job so that I could be home with my mom and be with her 24/7. And I mean, so all these things, like and she passed away the next day.
Wow.
Oh my God.
And so people just don't know. Like, you don't know
You
that.
never know.
Yeah.
But the opposite happens too. You know,
Absolutely.
and there are times when you think that it may be the end, and then they graduate out of hospice, and all of a sudden, life is a crazy thing.
Yeah. Well, and I think we also we have bereavement services, and that's something that a lot of people don't realize that we offer as well. We can
Yes.
follow families for up to 13 months after somebody passes to provide that grief support afterwards,
Yes.
because that's a huge part of what we do. We also do have, as extra therapies, we have music therapy and massage therapy. So we do offer that, and
We have volunteers,
services.
Yeah. So talk to me about the volunteer services.
Yeah.
When I was reading through some of the information you sent over, I'm like, I would have never thought you could be a volunteer and help.
Sure.
You know, in this situation. So tell me about, because people always ask, like, oh, I want to do something. You know. So what are some of the volunteer services that?
Well, they don't do anything medical,
Sure.
but they can come and just sit with your loved one, watch television with them, play cards with them, read a book to them, you know, things like that, just so that you can get out and go get your hair done or go get groceries. You know, sometimes people are so immersed in the process of being a caregiver,
Yeah.
they forget to take care of themselves. And
Yeah.
it's really important for you to keep your own stamina and your own mental well-being.
Sure. Yep.
You know,
Absolutely.
healthy as much as possible. So
Yeah.
those volunteers provide a great service.
Yeah.
We've even got volunteers that can come in and be a notary. You know, when you do have to have some of that legal paperwork put in place, you
Yeah.
need something notarized, we can have them come and do that. We don't have anybody currently, but we've had people in the past that just will go into people's homes and cut their hair or style their hair. Some of these little ladies that used to go to the beauty shop every week,
Right.
they don't get to do that anymore. And it's nice when somebody can come to their home when they
Yes.
can't get out anymore. And so that's always a service that not only is available through hospice, but we're always looking for volunteers.
Sure.
Absolutely.
So if they want to go through there's a small certification training process for that, and we have wonderful volunteers.
Yeah.
So
Volunteers are so important. And I tell people all the time, we have so many people who come on and are doing fundraisers or doing, events and stuff, but time is just as valuable, if not more
I
valuable
agree.
than the monetary
agree.
donations or things like that. I mean, when you're giving someone your time, that is so amazing. And so cool to know that,
Yeah.
that's something that you can do. Go hang out and play cards. I mean, come on. Like, that's fun.
A lot of people worry about money and finances as well when they're taking care of a loved one. And some of the things that are included in the hospice benefit are that we can order equipment for people as well. So if you need to get a hospital bed or you need to get oxygen or a commode or a shower bench in the home, we can take care of getting all that stuff delivered, and it's included in the
cost.
benefit.
Yeah.
And we can have supplies sent to your house. So that's a huge cost for people if they're providing Depends or
Yes.
just
wipes, anything
or,
like
yeah,
that.
if they have a wound, if they have a catheter, all of those supplies would be provided at no cost.
Wow.
So
Wow. Okay, so hospice is in your home. You guys are there kind of taking care of some of the stuff we've talked about. What qualifies you, or what kind of jobs are available with hospice? Like, I mean, we talked a little bit about some of the positions, but I know that you have some openings even. So,
Yeah.
like if you can imagine, like what a job to have, to be able to be
very
there and
rewarding
support
job.
a family during a time when
Yeah.
it's tough.
And we have a great team of people
We
too.
do.
I
We
love
do.
the people that I work with. Everybody is wonderful, and I would love for them to care for me or my own family.
Yes.
And right now we have
three
nurse-
case managers open, I believe. We have a second shift position that'll just popped open. We do have some openings, I think, still for some bath aides.
Yeah, we have a home health aide
right.
position open in Muscatine actually right now, as well as a nurse, an RN case manager position
In the Muscatine area, I do
as well.
believe, yes.
Yeah.
We have a hospice preceptor.
A
role that will
preceptor,
be open.
and then also an admissions nurse. We're looking for somebody that will just do admissions and referrals at the hospital.
Wow.
They help coordinate the discharges and
Yep.
things like that out of the hospital. But there also is a $10,000 sign-on bonus for
For
RNs
nurses.
She told me
this
about
time.
For RNs. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, people in the medical field, I mean, I think so many people are worn out. It's been tough.
Yeah.
But I love that you guys are offering bonuses and any way that you can help the healthcare profession. I mean, I cannot even imagine. And so, what a great bonus and an incentive to work in the. It's an important it's an important place to work and to be passionate about.
Yeah.
And so we want good people.
And like I said,
I
it's
love
a
that
very
you're doing that.
rewarding.
Yep.
People say that to me all the time. It's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you work in hospice. That's, takes somebody very special to do that. And
Yeah,
it's
you're like,
well,
yeah, I am special.
well, yeah, of course, I like to toot my own horn, but
Yeah.
but it's a very rewarding position.
Yeah.
Not only are you helping patients and families with
Yep.
one of the hardest decisions they're ever going to have to deal with in their
Yep.
life, but you're giving them some comfort and support during that time. And
Yeah.
it's just,
To have an outside perspective, an outside resource during that time, because when you're in that time, it's so emotional, when you're part of the family. And so, not that it's not emotional for you guys, but you're able to kind of look at it and be like, okay, like I said, you be the bad guy.
Yeah.
Like, you talk to mom about that.
We can
Or
take you by the hand and guide you through.
Yes.
Exactly.
And not the bad guy. I don't mean it that way. But like, you be the one to bring it up. I don't want to bring it up,
Yeah.
well, and sometimes people just need a big hug, or they just need a shoulder to
Yes.
cry on, and
Need
that's
a hug right now.
Yeah.
But yes,
So-
absolutely. And I'm so glad that you guys came on, because it's such an important service.
Yeah.
And it's so important that people realize what all is available. So I know we have on the scroll kind of, a way to get a hold of you guys, correct? So, but reach out. If,
Yeah.
even if
Absolutely.
you have questions, maybe it's not the time today, but
Yeah.
you have questions about like, when is the time, or, any of those
We
things.
can always come and do what we call an informational visit and just provide the information
Yes,
to you.
just to know.
That's,
Yeah.
just to know what's
Yep,
available.
you can ask us questions. We can give you some information. One other thing I wanted to mention is that a lot of people leave us money through our hospice foundation.
Oh, yes.
And so a lot of our patients, if there's something that they can't afford, or maybe they have some bucket list item that they want to try to do, we can try to make that happen and put a request in to get that
I love
taken care of by
that.
the foundation.
No
so
guarantees,
it's wonderful.
but it's always worth a try, and
Yeah.
they're actually pretty generous with
Yeah.
with a lot of the requests that are made
Yeah.
to them. So
That's awesome.
absolutely.
So cool. So reach out, whether it's about maybe being a volunteer, maybe you're interested in one of the jobs that they have open,
Yeah.
or maybe you just have questions about the services. I know there was a whole menu of services, and I love that, there was, everyone's different, right? And so not everyone needs the same exact services,
Exactly.
but I think it's so important that you were able to kind of piece together, those things and make it the right fit, make it the right service for
Exactly.
everybody.
We create a plan of care for each person, so
Yeah,
everything's
it's
a
all
little different.
individualized.
Yes, individualized care.
There you go.
That's the word that's the thing I was thinking of. Well, thank you guys for coming on
Yes,
today and for
absolutely.
educating.
Thank
I
you
hope
for
you
having
guys,
us.
I hope you guys will come back
Thank you.
and continue to educate us and continue the conversation, because they're hard conversations to have, but they're real conversations that need to be had.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you guys coming so much and spending your morning with me. I know you have you're like on to the next thing after this, but we're gonna go to a quick commercial, and then I have a few more things to talk to you guys about, some specials that Hy-Vee has going on, and then we'll end the show for today. So we'll be right back.
We just don't work out in a single plane of motion.
It's time for an update from the Not So Late Show with Austin, brought to you by Unity Point Health.
Listen up, everyone. I've got some news. Things are still kind of crazy out there, and the pandemic is still going on. And it's hard to keep people healthy. And right now, things are really tough for healthcare workers. There are a lot of people needing help with their health. They are working very hard. They're tired. And they are working extra shifts. Well, that would be like when you just get right out of school. You have to go back and do it all over again. Ugh. So there's something you need to know. It's time to be kind. Healthcare workers are doing the best they can to help you. They just need your help too. Take care of yourself however you can with your vaccinations and your healthy habits. But if you get sick, go see your doctor. If you have to wait, be patient. Be a patient patient. They're real people just like you. And do you know why they're working so hard? For you. So show them a little love, or at least a little bit of kindness. That's one way we can all feel better. Okay, that's all I've got, everyone. Stay safe out there and remember to be kind to healthcare workers.
This has been a special update from the Not So Late Show with Austin. Good night. We'll see you next time.
So much good information from them. I'm so glad that they were able to join us today. If you have more questions, please reach out and ask those questions. Don't be afraid to start the conversation. I want to talk to you before I go for the day. The pizza department here at Hy-Vee just told me that it's actually buy one, get one free. Large one-topping pizzas here at Hy-Vee today. So if you're looking for something for dinner or lunch, what a great deal. So come out and grab that. Enjoy some Wahlburgers. Is back up and slinging those burgers for you. So enjoy some of that. Also, don't forget that if you are eligible to donate blood, now is the time. So go sign up for a blood drive, or go and actually sign up for a slot at the actual center here. Either way, make sure that you donate blood right now so that it's available when people need it. Thank you so much for joining us today on the show. I appreciate you all tuning in. We will see you again tomorrow. But until then, remember that kindness is free. So spread that stuff wherever you go.
Here at Toyota Muscatine, we believe it's important to be strong supporters of our local community.
And that's why we donate thousands upon thousands of dollars to local Muscatine charities each year.
It's the reason why all of our employees are local to the area and have a vested interest in our community.
We value our customers, so when you shop here at Toyota of Muscatine, you will be treated like family.
So remember, when you shop with Toyota of Muscatine, not only are you sure to get great service, but you're also supporting local.